All right, here we go with solving equations with variables on each side. Okay, each step we've gone a little bit further. So with this one, what you want to look at first is getting variables on one side. Okay, get your variables on one side first by using the opposite operations. Okay, distribute first if you need to, and then get all the numbers on the other side by using opposite operations. Alright, so this first one, I want you to get in the habit, draw your line down where the equal sign is, and then you know whatever you write on one side, you have to write the same thing on the other. Okay, so here, if we're going to get our variables on one side, I'm going to minus the x. 2x minus x is 1x, plus 1 equals 11. From there, x is my variable, plus 1, opposite of plus 1 is minus 1, so I get x equals 10. Okay, again, you always want to check your work. So 2 times 10 is 20, plus 1 is 21, and then 10 plus 11 is 21. They equal, so that works. The next one, you have 5a and 8a. I always tend to just get my variables on the left-hand side. Doesn't matter. I think the left-hand side is easier when you get into inequalities in a couple chapters, but totally up to you. If you want to subtract the 5a so you're dealing with a positive, that's fine. But I'm going to go ahead and move all my variables to the left. So I'm going to minus the 8a. 5a minus 8a is negative 3a. Bring down the minus 3 and bring down the 6. And then here's my variable term. So opposite of minus 3 is plus 3. So I have negative 3a equals 9. And then divide by negative 3. So a equals negative 3. When you check that, 5 times negative 3 is negative 15, minus 3 is negative 18, 8 times negative 3 is negative 24, plus 6 is negative 18, so that checks. 2 times 6m minus 1 equals 8m. Distribute first. Okay, 2 times 6m is 12m. Minus 2 times 1 is 2 equals 8m. Now that I just told you always get all your variables on the left, this one, 8m is by itself over to the right. So what I'm going to do is bring 12m over there. Okay, 12m minus 12m cancels. You have negative 2. 8 minus 12 is negative 4m. From there, divide by negative 4. Negative 2 divided by negative 4 is 1/2. Equals m. Okay, to check that, 2 times 6 times 1/2 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. So 2 times 2, which is 4, should be the same as 8 times 1/2, and half of 8 is 4. So that does check. Okay. Next one, it looks like I have to distribute on both sides. So on the left, 2s plus 22 equals, on the right, 5s plus 10. So variables on one side minus the 5s and get them over there. So on the right I have 10. On the left 2s minus 5s is negative 3s plus 22. And there's my variable term. So minus the 22. Negative 3s equals negative 12. Divide by negative 3. And s equals 4. Go ahead and plug that in. 4 plus 11 is 15, times 2 is 30. 4 plus 2 is 6, times 5 is 30 also, so that does check. Alright, those are some examples. Let's turn the page and try some more. This first one at the top, we need to distribute first. So that's 2y plus 6 minus 2. Now we can combine like terms. 6 minus 2 is negative 4. So 2y minus 4 equals 7y minus 1. Move your variables to one side. So I'm going to subtract the 2y. I get 5y minus 1 equals negative 4. Then add the 1. 5y equals negative 3. Divide by 5. Y equals negative 3/5. So, a little bit harder to check, but you still want to do that. Okay. So, we have 7 times negative 3/5 is negative 21 over 5, minus 1, so it's going to be basically minus 5 over 5. So that gives you negative 26 over 5. Okay, that was on the left. And on the right, here, let me move this over a little bit. On the right, we have 2 times negative 3/5 plus 3. So if we change 3 to a denominator of 5, 3 times 5 is 15. That gives you 12/5. Times 2 is 24/5. Minus 2, which is 10/5, gives you not the same thing. So let's see where I went wrong. I have, let's see, what did I do? Oh, right here, 6 minus 2 is plus 4, that should be plus 4, that should be a 5. Sorry about that. Just goes to show why checking is important, okay? I went back and found my mistake, so now I know none of that was correct. This should be a 5, y equals 5, so when I divide by 5, whoops, just 5. 5y equals 5. When I divide by 5, I get y equals 1. So when we check 1, 1 plus 3 is 4, times 2 is 8, 8 minus 2 is 6, and 7 times 1 is 7, minus 1 is 6, so that does check. So y equals 1. Okay, right there, prime example of why checking is important. Okay, now this one over to the right hand side, we have equals. Variables on both sides. I'm going to minus the 3c. So negative 7, that's negative 4 minus 3 is negative 7c equals negative 7. Here's our variable term. That's a negative 7, so I'm going to add 7 to both sides. Negative 7c equals negative 7 plus 7 is 0. Well, divide by negative 7. C equals 0, and that is perfectly fine. Okay, perfectly fine to have 0 as an answer. Because if you look at that, 4 times 0 is 0, so you get negative 7 on the left. 3 times 0 is 0, so you get negative 7 on the right. So that does indeed check. Okay, so perfectly fine to have 0 as an answer. Now, some equations have no solution, or the solution set is, well, when they have no solution set, the solution set is the null or empty set, which is represented here. Okay, so when you distribute, when we go to solve this, you have 2x minus 2 equals 4 plus 2x. When we get our variables to one side, we minus that 2x. Well, 2x minus 2x is 0. I get negative 2. 2x minus 2x is 0. I get negative 2 equals 4. Is that true? No, that is not true. When your variables cancel and the statement left over is not a true, that is called the empty set. There is no solution. All right, so you can write out no solution. You can write that symbol. Do not just write a 0 because that is a 0. It's the 0 with a line through it. All right, now other equations have every number as a solution. The solution set would be all real numbers. Such an equation is called an identity. So let me show you this one. You have negative 2x, and then negative 2 times negative 1 is plus 2 equals 2 minus 2x. So putting the variables on the same side, add 2x. Negative 2x plus 2x cancel. You get 2 equals negative 2x plus 2x cancel. You get 2 equals 2. That is true. Okay, when your variables cancel and what's left is true, that is all real numbers. And there's a symbol that you can use. You can write out all real numbers. Doesn't matter. Okay, but those are kind of two special cases, either no solution or all real numbers. Those are two special cases. What you do want to remember is that if your variables cancel, if the two numbers left are equal, that is no solution. Or if they're not equal, that is no solution. If the two numbers left are equal, that is all real numbers. Okay, let's look at a couple word problems and then we'll be done. Number 3, tripling the greater of two consecutive even integers gives the same result as subtracting 10 from the lesser even integer. What are the integers? So, two consecutive even integers. We talked about that in the last video. When they're consecutive even, it's like saying x and x plus 2. Tripling the greater, so 3 times the greater of the 2, gives the same result as subtracting 10 from the lesser. Well, the lesser one would be the x, so subtracting 10 from that. Then it's just an equation to solve. You distribute 3x plus 6 equals x minus 10, minus the x over. You get 2x plus 6 equals negative 10, minus the 6. 2x equals negative 16, and divide by 2, x equals negative 8. So you have x, which is negative 8, and then x plus 2 is negative 6. All right, and then plug that in to check it. Negative 6 times 3 is negative 18, and negative 8 minus 10 is negative 18 as well, so that does check. Okay. Geometry. The formula for the perimeter of a rectangle is P equals 2L plus 2W, where L is the length and W is the width. A rectangle has a perimeter of 24 inches. Find its dimension if its length is 3 inches greater than its width. So basically it's saying the length is 3 inches greater than its width. So the perimeter is 24, so that's going to go in for P. So 24 equals 2. Instead of writing the length, we're going to plug in 3 plus W. So 2 times 3 plus W plus the 2W. And then you just solve. So just one more time to let you know where this came from. 2L plus 2W. Well, the perimeter is 24 inches, so I plug that in. And then the length is 3 inches greater than its width, so it's 3 plus W. Distribute 6 plus 2W plus 2W. 2W plus 2W is 4W plus 6 equals 24 minus the 6, so that is 18 equals 4W, and divide by 4. 2 goes into each of those, you end up with 9/2 equals W. Now, find its dimensions, so you have the width is 9/2 inches, and then the length is 3 plus 9/2, which is, I'm going to change that to 6/2 plus 9/2, you get 15/2 inches, or 8.5, 7.5, however you want to look at it. So there are 2 word problems to look at, think about, and then some of your try problems. Okay, there's 3 problems, and then 3 straight solving, and then 4 is your word problem. So try these out. Make sure you do check. Okay, please do that, and then we'll go over it tomorrow.